Yo, what's up guys? New Siege video. Playing against Aftermath Legends and Squad Zero, both very good guilds. We kind of had the luck, I guess, that we did very good early on. We had like an insane win rate. And because of that, they started focusing each other more than we did. So it was kind of luck, or are we playing good? I guess so. I hit pretty late, so I'm hitting more of somewhat of the backlines. These Shina Martina still do too much damage. I actually upped the damage. I got some better artifacts on them. They just do insane damage. But yeah, so for that reason, it's not the most meta of defenses out there. I made it myself slightly easy of hitting bad lines. But in the end, you still want to show the siege. It's fun. Why not? Why not, right? So typical teams, I still love those teams. Like you kind of see some of the teams like pretty repetitive. But to be honest, like if something works, why change a winning team, right? This one was slightly different, and this one was also one of their main defenses they had on the front line, which was the Chandra with Nora and Leo May. So Leo May is also making transitions into net 5s, which Leo May is just a very strong, annoying unit. We had a bunch of counters to this. Actually, we had a way better counter than this, but I kind of wanted to test this out to see how it works. Funny enough, we actually had like a 96 point something percent win rate, or even higher, until someone, not gonna name him, decided to lose like 3 matches at the end. No names. People in the guild know who it was. But we had like, at some point we had 216 wins and like 6 or 7 loses. That's insane. Like, they outplayed this one really good. Defense-wise, we still have to check, because I think it's really one of those metas, maybe except for Leo May, nothing really works all too well on defense. At least that's the feeling I'm getting. It's very hard to make something defense working unless you get like something that's super lucky on RNG, and Leo May is a pretty good advocate for that one. Or you just go super heavy on very specific premium LDs, because it's not even no longer like before you could say like, oh, you just throw like a bunch of LDs and it probably works. No, you need the premium precise good LDs to make good defenses these days. So that's a lot more difficult than what it used to be, I guess. So with that said, I think making good defenses these days is very difficult. So if your guild manages to make good defenses and they win a lot on high level, because on lower level, I think everything can kind of work. But on high level, people just prepare for it. People test it. It's already been seen. To be honest, everything is kind of counterable. So I guess that's also the good thing about the guilds that are getting into the Legend tournament pretty far every time. They are very well able to adapt to new defense they see at that moment on the spot, but also come up with defenses that no one has seen on that spot at that moment. So I think that's mainly the thing that makes the guilds good, that do it like far into the Legend tournament. Which we got rank 4 once, I think. Which is not bad, but it's also not crazy good. So we never made it to the finals. We'll see how it goes this time. We got like a crazy good roster in this case. I still really like this team. I think this team, even though it sometimes looks more closer than others, I think this team legitimately never lost yet. And I'm so going to jinx this right now, because in the next match, this team is absolutely going to lose. It's just sad to see that Lima on defense is actually pretty weak, because her AI is a lot more shit than I thought. Like, I fought a few Limas throughout the last few weeks, actually, and also tested on my own defense. Lima AI is shit. She never wants to use S3 at proper times. Her S2 AI is kind of okay-ish, but her S3 AI is absolutely zoggy shit. So that kind of sucks. So maybe I should remove her from defense. So that's what I said. Like, just throwing a bunch of LDs at it doesn't really make anything good. You need like the specific LDs to make it work. So they were throwing a lot of these Mounties at us, which I don't think is a bad defense whatsoever. They still had it from last time. I think last time we fought them, it was also the Mounties with them. So yeah, I think there's still a whole bunch of counters to it. Apparently my whole team likes to and decides to proc. In this case, even if that lands and it lands something high that destroys a lot of the HP, I don't care all too much, because I can just revive. And then if it dies again, I can revive again. And then by the time it dies again, I'll probably revive again. So that's just kind of funny. So like when it dies, I'll just either do damage or I'll revive again. I have both options. Is this by definition one of the better teams out there? Not too sure, not too sure, but I feel like I did pretty well. Pretty decent. Not the greatest. But hey, then again, I'm not a Siege player. I just literally I haven't re-runed for Siege in I don't know how long. And that's the funny thing because a lot of people are there's actually a whole bunch of people are saying like, "Oh, you're not a Siege player, like all of your teams are so locked, blah blah blah, this and that." I agree. I totally agree. I'm not a Siege player. I just play whatever the fuck is ruined up. That's how I do Siege. I don't switch around. I challenge any of you like Siege players to actually never switch any runes and then do Siege. See how that works. Don't use any copies of anything and then do Siege. See how that works. No, of course, like it's part of the game, so you play it that way. So it's smart to do it. It's done what I do. But then again, hey, it works out. If I can get my like 9 out of 10s or my 10 out of 10s this way, I don't care. Moment for the Legend tournament, I have to rerun that kind of stuff. Easy, I just rerun. So, but for me, I'm lazy. You know me. I'm way too busy on way too many things. So, for example, this team, would I recommend to use it? Well, actually, in the current state, how it's ruined, it's definitely not bad. But would you use this against the Mali in most cases? Probably not. Bunch of RNG, you probably lose. But does this team in most cases work out because there's a lot of backups on backups on backups? It's actually not that bad because the team does a decent amount of damage, decent amount of stuns, decent amount of pushbacks. If it actually lands, it's a 100 crit rate, but in this case, it didn't really land. But then again, there's just a lot of stats on it, and that's also what I get away with a lot of these siege fights. Like, yeah, they're not the most like perfect teams out there. Are you gonna learn a lot from me from doing these kind of sieges? Maybe you can get some ideas like, hey, maybe this or that could work. But in general, I throw rune quality at shit. And then shit dies. Like this one, it dies. And it works. And we win. And winning is good. And then the team that I always say I should stop losing this or stop losing, huh? This is the team I really like the team still. Like, you look at that, that's just cool, right? I'm not even sure if that was rude. I'm not even sure if I should have done that in the first place because you're hitting with a Sierra on a Kali. I still have to up the runes of those units because they could be better. Funny thing is, you do absolutely no fucking damage on that panda. That's pretty funny. But yeah, this thing, I still have to up the stats, I guess. Then one of the teams, I would say that people should copy if they have one. If they have a Feng Yang and a Leo, definitely do copy this team because I would say this is one of my most consistent winning teams out there. It's just, look at that Feng Yang doing close to 6Ks per hit for no fucking reason. That's just insane. That's stupid. And then maybe this is not the best countering position for it. Maybe not, but they have more cycling than I do, technically. But that slow doesn't really work. If Lima was not buffed, the dots would have actually fucked me up. But in this case, the slow doesn't matter because everyone is as slow or as fast as Leo is. So Lima, once again, doesn't do as much here. Like, literally, a Juno or a Praha would have done better in that slow. So, yeah, I feel this team is very solid. And definitely, if you have these units, absolutely copy this. Feng Yang, just build him super slow. Build him with keeping in mind, I only use Feng Yang when I Leo. And if you keep that in mind, you can do your Feng Yang doing like 6K per hits. It's possible. And then still being tanky. So this is, at the moment, I get like, okay, I have to hit shit. But most of the shit that I used is already, or most of the shit that I have ruined is already used. And therefore we get very weird-ish creative teams with a Miles. I have Miles on defense right now, so you can expect it to be like a 180 plus set. Like, you know. Also minus wind and that kind of good shit. So it does a good amount of damage, I would say. Resistance on that, not the greatest, but then again. Could sleep that, yes sir. Could hit that, yes sir. Doesn't die to dots. If it would have proc there, that unit would have been dead, but I think I win already anyways. Pretty much. Maybe I didn't need that proc. Maybe, who knows. Hey, but in the end, that's the name of the game, man. You proc, or you don't proc. If you don't proc, you lose. If you proc, you win. A good Siege player would say no matter how many procs, you should still be able to win. Fair enough to a certain extent, but I can show you some clips of some people. I can show you some clips of some people. Leo May is a very good advocate for that one. She can go a lot of times, and no matter how good your team is, Leo May can fuck you up. That's why I don't like that unit. Actually, a unit I haven't used much, but I would say is a very good siege unit, Delphoy. And I probably should use her more. Just build her very tanky. 100 res is an option. It's not a must. Get a decent amount of accuracy. So her S2 lands, so you can actually do these kind of things. I have no clue. My units are actually very slow. Like, how fucking slow are his units? Holy shit. That's also a really funny thing for siege defenses. Everyone is so hard focused on the fucking speed ticks that everyone is exactly the speed tick and not a fucking single speed faster. And how do you outspeed everyone? You go one speed above the speed tick. People are just too hard focused on the speed ticks, if you ask me. I don't know, man. Sure, it's a nice thing, but in the end, I'm not sure if it's that much of a specific thing. Because in the end, you know, like, oh, it's either 227 or it's 270. And there's pretty much nothing in between. What a guess. So yeah, if you want to outspeed pretty much everything in Siege, be 280. Legit, you're gonna outspeed 9 out of 10. So yeah, that is the Siege video already. That looked actually relatively easy, but then again, like I said, I hit backline. So that's making my own life a lot easier. But 9 out of 10 for me, the most struggle I have with Siege, and let me know in the comments if you can agree with me. Kind of depends what kind of guild you're in. I hate it that I have to look at the map, and the moment one tower is open, there's like 60 people like, I'm gonna hit this shit. Like, but I want to hit that too. Never mind, I'll hit backline in 3 hours. That's mostly how my siege goes. 3 hours, what? 8 hours, 10 hours. Also, let me know in the comments, we had the thing about the siege that are going to do something about it. What is your take that you would like to see change to the siege right now? Because 1 day to hit is pretty low for people, especially with like an hour of rebuild. I don't think they will go towards like 30 minutes of rebuilds of towers, but I would like to see 45 minutes of rebuilds of towers. 45 minutes of rebuild of tower would make it a lot easier to people get their hits in and that kind of stuff. Because even if you full blue map someone, it's still pretty hard to finish 20k points in the first day. So guys, let me know what you think and see you in the next one.